Listen, reach for the stars, wild ones. It's Bernadette, and I'm here with the Capricorn Tarot reading for April 2021. Okay, so before we get started, I've got to remind you that this is April 1st is just a couple days away. That starts my Kickstarter for my brand new book, the Spirit Totem Power Animals, the complete book of animal spirit guides, a 700-page 9x11 full-color book. It's the most comprehensive book on the subject anywhere in the world. There are 300 two pages each, animal descriptions that will bring you in closer relationship with your animal allies and nature. There are prayers and intentions. There are articles about sigils and talisman and how to create them, and there are sample interpretations and all kinds of information about numerology and color theory and just, everything that will go into you more easily recognizing and more easily being able to come again into deeper relationship with your animal allies. Kickstarter begins on April 1st. The link is in the comments below. Please, please, please do yourself a giant favor. Get this book. It's discounted during Kickstarter only. You'll be so thrilled when you get this book. All right, here we go. On to the tarot card readings. Oh, Capricorn, how much do I love you? Let me count the ways. My sister's a Capricorn, and you just got, it's the craziest animal that Capricorns have for this tarot reading, for your zodiac sign for April 2021, because it's the Armadillo. And I won't go into it now, but I've got a hilarious story about my sister and armadillos. It cracks me up every time. It just cracks me up. But Armadillo really is the perfect spirit totem and power animal for Capricorns, because it's about standing up to protect your community and standing up to protect yourself. And that is something that Capricorn does very well. They are just the most stalwart people ever. And this month in April is going to be just right in your wheelhouse, Capricorn. And so when you take a look at Armadillo as a spirit totem and power animal, they do have a reputation for being tough, no matter how tiny they are, because that shell that they have is no joke. I mean, it is almost impossible to get through. Now, the Armadillo name started way back a jillion years ago in the Spanish culture, and Armadillo stands for little armored ones. So cute. And so, Armadillo can teach you that you need to protect your emotions while still using emotional motivation to act in defense of the community. So Armadillo is a really, really great helpmate to allow you to feel the way you want to feel, and then also act on those emotions in a really calm, rational manner that is methodical, and there's always a plan, because Capricorns always have a plan, right? Now, in the month of April, you might feel a protective instinct over your family, your workplace, or other aspects in your community, and let Armadillo, though, remind you not to isolate yourself. Capricorns tend to feel like it's their job to save the world and no one else's job. And so Capricorns very, very rarely ask for help. If you are holding true to to your birth totem, and I know a lot else goes on in the chart, your rising sign, and that's in this house and this is in that house, but at their core, Capricorn really, really tend to just, they feel so responsible for everything and everybody. They just go it alone. This is not the month to do that, April. So, even though you've got that tough exterior, you can protect your vulnerable emotions while still showing up and walking through the conflict. And that's something that you often forget. You often forget that you actually have emotions, and I know you do way, 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 way down deep in there somewhere. And so you might actually feel your feels more than usual during this month. Now, Armadillo is going to help you remember that you can also be a really important ally to those who don't feel as confident as you feel. So while on the one hand during April you might be really compelled to go into a really protective, like, I really am a soldier, I'm a little armored one kind of thing, there's going to be a flip side to that. And that is for you to take really special care of and look out for people who they just don't have the internal battery that you have, and there's something that's gonna come up, maybe even a few times during the month of April for your zodiac sign, where you're going to be called on to really help those people find their confidence, understand how to move towards a place of more confidence, and that just really falls into your natural leadership ability, which you have in spades always, right? Although Capricorns tend to want to stay kind of behind the scenes and work that way in secret rather than being out in the spotlight. You'll still be able to do things that way, but again, just keep your spidey senses open for or your ear to the ground, I should say, because armadillos work so closely with the earth element. Just keep your ear low to the ground for people that are needing a boost of confidence, and you're going to be very helpful to them. Now, the main event taking place in the sign of Capricorn for this month is Pluto's retrograde motion in Capricorn as of the 27th, and you may have to retread over old territory when it comes to finances, career, and even if you're starting to re-examine traditions, mindsets, beliefs, things that you once thunk, then you once would lay down your life believing, stating they were true. You might come upon some new evidence that makes you rethink those things and just realign some of your beliefs and your systems and your traditions. So this is not the time, April is not the time to hold on to the past for the sake of sentimentality. Change is coming, change is upon you. And even if you don't feel ready, or even if you, are really comfortable with the way things are, there's just this really big shift that's coming for you. And it's going to be awesome because once you have knowledge, man, you take off like a bottle rocket. It is amazing to watch you work, and you stay steady, you stay true, you stay on it, you stay on it. So just again, be open. Like I said, even if you're feeling, like, why would I need any change? I'm really comfortable, because the change that's coming is going to make you more comfortable. Then you think you're comfortable now? Holy guacamole, wait till you go through the change. You're going to be even more comfortable. So, your ruling planet, Capricorn, Saturn, that remains in Aquarius and starts the month in a trine aspect to Mars and Gemini. That's a great, that time is a great time to embrace breakthroughs and changes. Even if doing so is going to radically change kind of your status quo, just see your way through it, and you'll be really glad once you get on the other side. Now, also through most of the month, Saturn in Aquarius is trine the North Node in Gemini, and you might feel compelled to move in strange, probably even some unorthodox directions, breaking with tradition and causing you to be unsettled. But beneath that anxiety is an awareness that you are coming to your destiny. And that can be a little tough for Capricorns sometimes to think of as things in terms of a destiny. You're so busy doing, and you're so busy not achieving, but just, again, you feel so responsible for everything and everybody. You've always got your head down in that kind of game so much that it's hard for you sometimes to really tap into your psychic senses and really think of a life as like a sacred contract or a destiny. And if you will open to that this month, wow, like I said, if you think you're comfortable now, or you think you like things now, once you get through the shakeup, it's like you open your eyes and you're like, how did I ever not know this was available to me, or I didn't know I could have it, or whatever you might say. It's going to be really beautiful. So, that said, this month, in April, you might have a growing awareness that you've got an important role to play in society as part of a group or campaign, or even just amongst your group of friends. And though you may want to stay out and kind of mind your own business, you may not be able to fight the deeper, that thing that just kind of inner drive that just eats at you, not in a negative way, but more in a like how you keep trying to start a lighter and you're like, and finally the lighter catches on fire. That's going to be you. You're going to, if you'll allow it, you're going to be an amazing facilitator of change and justice in this month in some kind of group setting. Again, if you'll allow that ignition to come to you, and you don't just keep tamping down the things that you are feeling, the whispers that you're getting from spirit. Now, remember, Armadillo's lesson here is to show compassion while keeping your strong boundaries. And goodness knows you are all about the boundaries. You Capricorns, your zodiac sign are the great boundary setters of all time, which others of us admire very much. And your desire to protect your community, you're going to have plenty of outlets this month, and you might be repeatedly called to be in the service of helping others. So we've talked about, already, in this tarot card reading for this month, we've already talked about you kind of feeling responsible, but be aware that it might happen repeatedly. It's not like you're maybe headed towards one big thing. It might just be an over and over again. It could be a bunch of little things. But again, in April, just stay hyper vigilant to people that you can help with their confidence, and things that you can protect, obviously without putting yourself in harm's way. So around the 27th of April, Saturn in Aquarius is square to Venus and Venus in Taurus, and this could be a particularly challenging time in love and financial matters. You might have to work through misunderstandings or dramatic differences in expectations as others. They may not understand your calling to fulfill a larger mission now. And, a lot of light workers have that, folks that have long-time partnerships or even short-time partnerships, children, if you're in a family, or you're in a group of friends that don't understand what a calling feels like or what it looks like, it's incredibly difficult for them to understand that what you're really doing is quite altruistic. You're answering the call to serve humanity and this is not in an egotistic way, but in a higher, broader sense of the word than somebody, who says, well, I serve humanity. I'm a nice person. I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't do this. I don't do that. That's true. You're wonderful. You are serving humanity really well. But when you are called to work with large groups of people, to protect them, to teach them, to help them, you're talking about multiplying those numbers of your reach, of your influence, of your medicine, of your love, of your healing, that then exponentially sends all of that out. You've got a person over here who is a good person, and then, they affect whoever they affect. But then you've got, you Capricorn, which is who we're talking about right now. You've got a calling to reach more and more and more people. And now we've got you that affects everyone around you. And then those people affect and those people affect. And it's the same. The butterfly effect is the same way with the single person or the person not called. But with a person called, you're getting to so many more people. The butterfly effect it's more like the monarch butterfly migration than the one or two butterflies that flit around your lantana or your salvia in your butterfly garden every spring. If that makes sense, I hope that clears it up. Now, I want to talk about just a little bit more of the armadillo for April, because I want to go back to those boundaries. When armadillo is telling you no, they'll tuck up and they'll roll, and that's a protection thing. So Capricorn, your zodiac sign can get really depleted. Now, like I said, you've got an internal battery like a lot of zodiac signs don't have. You've just got the ability to stay on task and stay in the mix because you really are a soldier. And it's like Taurus, they'll trudge, and my God, the world has to end for them to stop on their path, right? And get out of that, sometimes a rut. But there's really a call, especially through April, because you might have so many repeating things come to you about helping people do this and protecting people to do that and teaching people to do this and whatever, that you just deplete yourself. Because here's the other thing about armadillos, like sloths, armadillos require a tremendous amount of sleep, like some of them 18 hours a day. And so your self-care regimen, there's the word, you've got to be just as regimented. Well, you don't have to do anything, but I hope you'll consider being as regimented about your self-care through April, or more regimented about your self-care through April than usually you are at any other time, because this is a month that could really just, pull the rug right out from under you. So I hope that was helpful. Pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, subscribe to my YouTube channel, do yourself a favor, get on over to gatheringofmystics.com, join my free forums, where there is moderation, it is safe, it is private. So get on over to gatheringofmystics.com, get your learning on, get your community on, and we got probably the most popular board on there is the funnies, where we all put funny memes and write funny things. It's hilarious, and it'll brighten your day. Also remember, my Kickstarter begins April 1st. Please, 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 please support this Kickstarter. You've got to have this book. You've got to have this book. It's the biggest one on the subject in the world, the most comprehensive. And I pledge to donate $5,000 of the profits from this Kickstarter, well, from the sale of the book, to animal charities that fight to prevent cruelty to animals. So, all of that said, what's the most important thing you can do for yourself? to do good for animals and keep reaching for those stars.